Hi everybody! Well, I've been working on something all winter in preparation for the spring farmers markets, a way for me to get my hands dirty all winter, work with some plants, and today I'm going to share with you what I've been doing and give you some tips because there's still time for you to do this also to sell to your friends or at your local farmers market. So let me show you what I've been working on. Before we go into the house and before I show you what I've been up to, first we need to gather some things that are outside that I need to take with us in the house. If you can see right here next to me, this is a bunch of ivy that has been growing here since before we moved in here. This stuff is amazing that it grows even throughout the winter. At least it stays alive through the winter and then it thrives over the summer. This ivy not only grows well outside, but it also grows well inside. So I am going to take some cuttings of this and take them inside with me. I think this will be enough for now. Let's head inside. Well, now we're back in the house where it's all nice and cozy and I can show you what I have up my sleeve that I've been working on this winter that I can take with us to the farmer's market this spring. Now there are several things I'm going to show you. The first thing I want to show you is something that we've actually been asked for over the last couple of years at the farmer's market when we're there selling our plants in the early spring, and we have never been able to offer them. Well, we've never thought to offer them, honestly, and so this year we're going to, and that is sweet potato slips. So I'm going to try two different ways this year to grow sweet potato slips. This is the first time we've ever done it. I've seen many other people do it, so I'm confident that this is going to work. I'll tell you that when we've grown sweet potatoes in the past, we've bought our sweet potato slips from another farmer's market. And they actually were quite expensive. They were selling a dozen sweet potato slips for $20. And while I don't think that I can get that price at our farmer's market, I still think that I can get a good price selling them by the dozen. We will save some back for ourselves, but depending on how well these grow, I'm going to be packaging them together in dozens to sell this spring at the farmer's market. So let me gather my things and I'll show you the two ways that I'm going to start growing sweet potato slips this year. Okay, let's get started with the sweet potatoes. Now, I have two varieties of sweet potatoes. We bought these from our local natural food store and they're organic, so they haven't been sprayed with anything that will prevent them from sprouting. And actually, some of them, because we haven't eaten them fast enough and they've been in the kitchen, have started actually sprouting, so this is good. The two varieties are garnet sweet potatoes and jewel. So those are the two varieties we're going to be working with. And the first way that we're going to start sprouting these is in a jar of water. And this, I think, is the most common way to start sweet potato slips in the house. This is what I see the most. And essentially what we're going to be doing is suspending the sweet potato down into the jar, have some water there, and then these sprouts will come up like branches off the sweet potato, and you're going to snip them off right close to the sweet potato, stick them in a jar of water, and those are going to grow roots, and that's what you stick in the ground. That is what your sweet potato slip is. So to get started, to suspend it in this jar, we're going to poke a bunch of toothpicks all around it. And it's really just as simple as it sounds, just enough to make it sit in there and not fall in or fall over. I kind of broke that one. So I'd say at least 4, but depending on the weight of your sweet potato, maybe 8. Some of these other sweet potatoes that I have are pretty big. Now, I have learned a lot about this from Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead. And what they use is they use their sweet potatoes that they grew last year that were too small to really do anything with. Too small to eat, too small to can. They just hold those in their cellar and until the next spring, and then they use those guys to start their slips. So if we had that opportunity, that's what we would do, but we didn't do it. We didn't have that opportunity this year, so we're just getting some from the store. Okay, so this sweet potato will just be suspended like this. Kind of looks like a spaceship. We're gonna fill this up with water. Put the sweet potato down in there like that, and I'll put this in the windowsill or on the window. If you can't do that, just put it near a sunny window. And then these little sprouts are gonna turn into branches. Sometimes they even grow them down like in the water part, up, you know, through the water and through the jar, and then you just snip them off, like I said. So this is how we're going to grow 3 of our sweet potatoes worth of sweet potato slips. Perfect. Let's go put these on the window. Into the window they go. Now the second way that we're gonna grow these sweet potato slips, or we're gonna try anyway, is in buckets. So we're just using ice cream pails. We actually have a bunch of empty ice cream buckets. We hit the jackpot at an auction, and we have like 100 of them, and they come in handy in so many situations. And again, they came in handy today. So we have put some compost in these ice cream pails. We put some holes on the bottom to let extra water out. There are a lot of people that are starting sweet potato slips in containers, in dirt, and actually Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead have done this too. Not necessarily in ice cream pails, but we're gonna do it in ice cream pails. So we're just going to, dig in here, dig out a place for the sweet potato to fit in the ice cream pail. Take this sweet potato, look, it's actually got some little sprouts on it already. I'm excited about that. Dig that down into there as much as I can, and then cover it up. I have some extra compost here too. I'm just gonna cover this sweet potato up with some soil, even it out. Oh, I need a little bit more. It's peeking out a little bit. Okay, so when I'm done, I'll go ahead and water this really well, but then the slips will just start emerging through the soil, and then we'll cut them right at the soil level and put them in a jar of water where they will sprout their roots, and then that can go into the garden, or we can take it to the farmer's market and sell like that. So that's what we're gonna do here. We've got one of the sweet potatoes in there, and we're gonna do the same thing here with the very last one. So just like before, we're gonna dig kind of a hole in there, little trough. Press that sweet potato down in there, start covering it up, and then backfill with dirt like that. We'll give it a good water once we're all done, and then we'll put this by the window as well. Obviously this will not fit on the windowsill, but we can put it right by a sunny window and wait for those slips to come up. So you guys there's 2 ways to try growing sweet potato slips, if not for your own garden, to bundle together and make some money. Now there's other things I'm working on, so let's move on to that. On the windowsill also, you can see some of the things I'm working on for the farmer's market. These are cuttings that I've taken from actually 2 of my houseplants that I have here. And I'm taking cuttings to root them and turn them into houseplants I can sell at the farmer's market. So I'm gonna take down this houseplant here and I'm gonna show you what I've been doing and how you can do it too. Okay, you guys. This is actually super fun for me, especially in the winter when I can't be outside, get my hands dirty in the garden. I can get them dirty in the house. So this houseplant, these are like super common, and you can get one of these houseplants at Walmart for like $4 or $5, maybe $6. And as it grows, it gets really long, and each one of these can be cut into several pieces, rooted in some water, planted in a little pot, and sold for several dollars at the farmer's market. So that's what we're gonna do today. And lots of these houseplants you can do this with. So I'm gonna cut off one of these long branches here. I'm just gonna snip one off, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about how you should do this. Okay, here we go. Put this down here for a minute. So this long branch, everywhere there is a leaf, there is a little node where a root is starting to grow right there. Pardon my dirty fingernails, right there. And roots will grow out of there if you put it in the dirt or if you put it in a jar of water. So when you're rooting these in water or whatever, you should keep at least 1 leaf so that the photosynthesis process can continue. So I am going to cut this branch right above a leaf, and I'll leave 2 of these nodes that are going to be down in the water, but I'm going to cut those leaves off. So what I'm wanting is to put these in a jar of water and make sure that at least 2 of these areas are in the water so they'll start growing roots. Once they start growing roots, I can put a few of these together, pot them in a plant, let them grow a little bit bigger, take them to the farmer's market and sell them, or give them away as gifts, have my entire house filled with them. It's just a lot of fun, and it's next to no money, right? So originally I spent like $5 or $6 on a house plant, and you know, how many little plants have I made? A bunch. It's like 100% profit. So this is fun, and you'll make a little bit of money. So again, I'm just gonna do the same thing with this part of the branch. Cut off 2 of the leaves to make sure that there are 2 areas to grow roots. Put it in the jar. When I'm done, I'll put these in the windowsill. And what's left of that branch, I'll do the same thing. Put that down in the water. And I can give my houseplant a haircut of all of its long branches. And more branches will continue to grow, and I can continue doing this over and over again. And pretty soon you'll have a kitchen window filled with these, just like I do. So out of those 2 branches, I was able to get 6 new little plants. And I will probably group them together in 2 or 3 branches into a pot and pot them. Now let me show you. Over here, I have this very little plant that I just cut cuttings off of, has already gone through that process, and I've potted it in this little pot. But I've also done the same thing with aloe vera. My aloe vera plant had like all these babies in a bigger pot, and I just separated all the babies and I just stuck them in dirt, watered it well, and this will grow just like this, and I can sell them this as a plant by itself. I have another plant that's purple. I don't know the names of these plants, but it was purple, did the same thing, rooted it, and now these tiny little leaves are growing. I potted it up, Once it's bigger, I can sell this or I can use it here at home. Now, you can be as creative or as not as you want with potting these for the farmer's market. You can buy really inexpensive pots like this one. I got this one at Lowe's for like, I don't know, $2 or something. So if you wanted to be creative, you could repot them and sell them in these pretty pots. If you have leftover mugs or too many mugs in the kitchen cabinet, you could plant them in mugs like this and sell them. But you know what I have found at thrift stores and at garage sales or rummage sales? People are selling their mugs. They're selling lots of things that knickknacks that could hold plants for like 50 cents, like $1 at the most. How easy would it be and inexpensive to just pick up a bunch of those containers and plant your houseplants in them and take them to the farmer's market to sell them or give them away as gifts? It's just a lot of fun. And for me, it's been a way to keep me kind of sane throughout the winter, still being able to get my hands dirty and still being able to grow things. Remember the ivy that I cut at the very beginning of this video? Let's grab that and I'll show you what we're going to do with that too. So this ivy grows in the same exact way of this other houseplant that I was telling you about. The branches here at each one of the leaves is a node that roots will grow at. So we are going to do the exact same thing that we did with our houseplant to this ivy that'll grow outside. And these will be beautiful in the house too if you or the person who buys it would like that. So again, we're just gonna cut this right by a leaf. We're gonna cut off these two leaves that we don't need. We're gonna put that in a jar of water and they will start growing. We're just gonna keep doing that. Now, the time that it takes to grow the roots, it really varies by the type of plant. I would say within a month, you'll be able to plant these that we did before. I'm not exactly sure how long it'll take the roots for this ivy, but I would say anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks and you'll be able to plant these in some dirt. The roots don't have to be really big. They just have to be, an inch or two before they'll actually start taking in the potting soil. Sometimes I just kind of forget and they get all crazy in the jar, but as soon as I put them in the soil, they do just great. I might have gone a little bit crazy cutting this. I might have too much, but I wanted to give you guys a good opportunity to see what you guys can do at home too. Another thing that I've been thinking about is if you have a friend or if your mother-in-law has some houseplants that you really like, I'm sure they would allow you to take cuttings off of that and then you have free houseplants. When you learn how to take cuttings like this and learn how to start your own plants, then you just get even that much more thrifty, saving a bunch of money, and then you can have them in your house too. So this is a great skill to learn and a great skill to have. So out of my houseplant, I was able to get 6 cuttings, and out of the ivy, I got 13 cuttings. It took me nearly no time, under 10 minutes, and this is gonna be pretty awesome. So let's go add these to the windowsill by all the rest of the little plants. So this guy can go back up here after his little haircut. And now we could put these in the window by the rest of them. I've got quite a collection going on there. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed spending some time with me today, learning how I have kept myself sane by still growing things over the winter and preparing for farmer's market season this spring. I can bring some of these, make a little bit of money, and I just really enjoy it. So if you're enjoying what we're doing here, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Also, if you'd share our videos with the people that you love, we would absolutely appreciate it. And until next time, thank you so much for stopping by our homestead. Take care and God bless.